Hello and welcome to the Commander, and this is your daily last-minute news about the Russia vs. Ukraine war update. The Russians once again increased their pressure in the southern part of the Donetsk region. After picking up their assault operation in Pavlivka yesterday, the Russians entered the northern suburbs. The area that is now under dispute, according to the most recent reports, are the fields on the other bank of the river. And why is this important right now? Well, the main Ukrainian positions in this conflict are at Kherson and Volodar. A few of crucial locations support the whole front in each sector of the front line. The Ukrainians' control of these towns makes progress in this region nearly difficult. Most importantly, Volodar's position on a hill makes it hard to get past its defenses. Given that Pavlivka has 9-story buildings and is located around 30 meters lower than Vuhledar on the topographical map, the Ukrainian population there is 60 meters higher than the Russian population. The hill that Vuhledar stands on stretches into Russian-controlled territory to the east, making an attack from that angle the most successful, according to a separate topographic map. So why didn't the Russians attack from that position? They did, but they had to stop because they were so completely ineffective. The Donetsk People's Republic military commander reacted on the situation and asserted that for some reason, Russian troops opted to dedicate the freshly organized forces to carry out this vital offensive, which would determine if the operation in this region would be successful or not. According to the Institute for the Study of War, Russian military officials most likely abandoned their original plans, and committed poorly trained reinforcements out of a sense of politically motivated urgency, to resume the Donetsk offensive campaign before the anticipated Russian withdrawal from Kherson city. However, despite the soldiers' best efforts, it is still challenging to occupy Volodar from the east. Even though the Russians started their onslaught from a somewhat higher terrain than Volodar, the Ukrainians maintain control of the Pivdenodonbassky Terikon, a very good position that guards the flank of the Volodar group. The Terikon is essentially a man-made mountain, rising in this case, around 70 meters above the ground. The Ukrainians are manning trenches and sheltering behind Ukrainians near to Terikon in order to defend this land. With this variety of defense installations, it is quite challenging for the Russians to access the area. But if the Russians are successful in capturing these two locations, it also suggests that the front line will collapse instantaneously tens of kilometers back. This explains why sometimes it takes a month to capture a town and other times it only takes a day. The Russians are aware of this and are prepared to make significant sacrifices and put their forces in danger in order to secure any victory. To maximize their success in Pavlivka, the Russians are presently making the best use of their artillery. They are using normal and thermobaric artillery to fire at the Ukrainian defenders in these two vital locations. The Ukrainians are firing back against the Russians at Pavlivka and Mykolaiv, and they periodically try to target the eastern offensive forces as well. They are also firing at the Russians directly from Volodar, which is making it very difficult for them to reach Pavlivka and finish clearing. So in this situation, there are two possible results. Firstly, in order to launch a counterattack, the Ukrainians may first prepare Pavlivka with heavy artillery once more. Second, the Russians may launch strikes in that direction once more. Although there is little to no evidence so far that the Russians are ready for this attack, given the fact that they are removing numerous soldiers from Kherson, circumstances might swiftly change. Overall, Ukraine continues to have total control in this situation. They have control over key regions near their key locations, allowing them to defend themselves effectively. They also did significant damage to the Russian Marine Brigade, forcing them to approach Pavlivka from an adverse angle. The Ukrainians slowly retreated to the fields, dragging the Russians from Volodar through the flames. The Russians' complete control of Pavlivka over the summer is also unimportant since they continuously failed to progress their low-land invasion. The departure of troops from Kherson, however, may herald the start of a strong attack from the east. Fortunately, this won't come as a surprise because the Ukrainians have previously reinforced this region and are actively watching the front. If you disagree with the invasion of Ukraine and would like to support the work I'm doing, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel.